Hey YouTube, it's Adrian. Just before we get you to this video, do me a favor and head over to pageantlaunch.com. We are starting the world's first dedicated pageant review site, and I would love for you to join our launch team. All you need to do is put in your email address. It's completely free. We are looking to make a pageant industry that is safe, transparent, and fair. I know it's like that most of the time, but over the last year, it's become very evident that it's not like that all of the time. So head over to pageantlaunch.com, put in your email address, and let's get you to this. Hi everyone, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project. Again, I was on just 5 minutes ago with Grace Levy, but hope you guys are all doing well. I've got my co-host Danielle, Danielle Latimer, and Lauren Parkinson with me as usual. Lauren, why don't we dive straight into it? And what have you just managed to do?
What have I just managed to do? I don't want to give all my secrets away.
Lauren has managed to get some iPads for a very, very discounted price, and I'm really, really jealous. Yeah.
That makes it sound like she's been wheeling and dealing iPads off the back of a truck.
Buying iPads. No, Curry's had a glitch on their website, and I managed to get 3 iPads for £15. So.
Yeah. So,
and I think Joanna ended up getting 2. So.
Wow. Okay. Maybe we shouldn't promote it because then people will come for us.
Then they'll refund me all my £15, and then there'll be no iPads.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised actually if they did that. But Lauren, why don't we start with you? Why don't you catch us up with what you've been doing since last week?
So I worked hard all week and then went off to Swansea in South Wales, so that was a good 3-hour drive, and we went to the it's me and Mother went to the Miss World Wales and Miss Universe Great Britain good luck send-off party / everyone gets to socialise.
That looked like a lot of fun. You said was it 3 hours you drove to do that?
Yeah, so 3 hours, and it was so much fun. I got to see all the Miss Wales finalists that could make it. Unfortunately, some couldn't due to work commitments. But it was so much fun seeing everyone and being back in South Wales. It's a long trek, and I got very car sick.
I saw some of the photo that you posted up. I mean, it was a photo that you took, right? You didn't find it off the internet of this lovely green countryside.
I took that, yeah.
And it was blue skies.
Very, very clear skies. And then the day before when we drove, it was all foggy, so we couldn't see any of that. And then on the way home, it opened up, but it was so busy going through the Brecon Beacons because I think it was like the perfect day for hiking. So it was so busy.
I have driven through Wales before. I've driven from Cardiff. I think I told you when we interviewed the first time out west. I can't pronounce it. I think you said it's Dothgethley. Is it
Dothgethley?
Okay. Yeah, and we drove through these forests and these really windy roads. It was really.
That would have been Brecon Beacons, possibly.
Yeah, that's why I thought it sounded familiar, but I can assure you that when we drove through it, it was not sunny and it did not look like blue skies, unlike yourself. Danielle, what about yourself? I think if I saw correctly, you drove more than 3 hours.
Yep, I had a lot of driving this weekend, so worked all week. Standard procedure, really. You've got to fund this terrible habit that we have.
The addiction.
So
fund the addiction somehow.
It sounds like we're into like some hardcore stuff here.
It is. This is hardcore pageantry. It's very hardcore.
That's
so Saturday evening or afternoon, I drove to Rickmansworth and picked up Miss Galaxy Rickmansworth. Then we drove down to Cardiff and attended Heather Hopkins' pageant PJ party, which was an absolute hoot. It was amazing. It was really well organised, just little details down to like a display of donuts. You know how I feel about donuts.
I remember.
It was just Everything was really well planned out, really thought out. The DJ was on fire with the tunes. We had some live singing. A couple of my friends came down as well, and for those that were the absolute life and soul of the party, it was basically this big hoedown. We were dancing like crazy people on the dance floor. And I actually swooped up in a raffle for once. Usually when I go to events, I never win anything. Lauren, you'll know you saw how many tickets I bought at your event.
Yeah. You are a sucker for a raffle. Yeah,
I love a raffle. The girl loves a raffle.
I'll be raffling off some iPads soon anyway.
Yeah.
Dear me.
That's a good fundraiser idea.
It is. I was thinking of it, to be honest.
So cleaned up, and I won LVL lashes, the lift and dye and all that.
I
so I'm excited to get that
on Friday.
Give us a show.
I don't know if you can see it with my camera quality though.
Little flash.
You need to blink your eyes, I think.
Cute.
Flutter the lashes.
Yeah, so it like just lifts them and tints them. Very good.
So I won those in the raffle.
Mm-hmm.
So excited to get that. And then drove back that evening. So it wrapped up around about 10 o'clock. And the drive back to London, to Rickmansworth, to drop Marty off, and then back home. I got home about 2:30 in the morning. Went to bed, woke up at 7:30, so got 5 hours sleep. Jumped straight back in the car and drove all the way up to Leeds. It's another 3.5 hour journey. Had the best shoot with Charlotte Clemmy. Had Georgie Nicholson there, who was doing her shoot for Miss Intercontinental.
Yep.
Yeah, she looked absolutely stunning, by the way. I've got a good feeling for her at internationals. And Natalie Pav was there, and a few others, and we just had an absolute blast on that shoot. Yeah, it was just a really nice group of people, nice to hang out. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay there, but I had to leave and come home because it was my sister's birthday party. So we set off some fireworks in the garden for her.
Amazing. I hope you had a good time.
We did. It was nice because we throw this party every single year for my sister. For those that don't know, my sister's got Down syndrome. They have a shorter life expectancy, so we celebrate each year.
Yeah.
Every year we get everyone round and we set fireworks off. And I didn't want to miss it, but so I tried my best. I bombed it down the motorway to get there, and it was fun. We see these people once a year, so
yeah. There's a bunch of things I want to ask you. One, first off, back to the Pageants and PJ's party. I saw some of the photos, and I swear to God, there's a couple of photos where you look like you're passed out on the floor. I'm going to assume that was you posing, pretending you were asleep, because you were literally lying on the floor.
I looked like I'd been shot, and everyone else looked really happy and cute, being like, "Oh, let's sleepy." I was just like, down. If you're gonna pretend to be asleep, at least look like it's real. And no one's a cute sleeper.
Well, given how little you have slept, I wouldn't be surprised if you actually had fallen asleep at the party. You just literally passed out on the floor.
I tell you what, it was the best dress code for an event. It was great. I literally got home and collapsed into bed.
Were you wearing? Did the onesie come out again?
The onesie came out again. It made another appearance, and I also wear my Chrissy t-shirt, which I just got. This is
becoming a thing. The onesie coming out. Also, you're doing the pageant, Jessica Barclay's pageant intro challenge. So, are you caught up on that, or are you?
Nope. Standard procedure. I can't keep up with daily posting.
Do you know what the question is for today or the days you've missed? You could do it right now.
I could actually. I think yesterday, and I'm a bit confused whether yesterday's is today's. I don't know. I need to check in. I know today's one is about style.
I was going to ask, do you even know what day it is? Because I feel like your weekend has just been a blur.
It has, yeah. I feel weird not sitting in my car right now.
Yes.
May as well set up a bed in your car.
Yeah, I've got actually the back seats are permanently laid down just in case I need a little nap.
Me and my mum have been saying for ages that we need like a VW van with beds in it, just so that every time you go to appearance, you can just sleep in there.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a great idea.
Like a big pageant motorhome.
You mean like the old school sort of VW combi vans with the blacked out windows, and you can just lie a mattress in the back?
That's what we need.
Brilliant. That'd be brilliant. Imagine all of us rocking up to a pageant in those. The owner of the hotels or the venues would be like, what on earth is going on a motorhome show?
They'd be charging ground rent just to stay there for the night, just because you're not booking a room.
It could be worth it.
Oh my God, it's a good way to save on money.
I was going to say.
That's what me and Mum have been saying for so long.
But it might actually be more comfortable and cleaner depending on where you're planning on staying as well. So it's not the worst idea I've heard.
Just like my nightmare on the weekend, we actually had a full refund for our hotel.
Oh, what happened?
Because,
are you allowed to say on live?
Yeah, I can say. We got in so late and I just went to sleep because I was so tired. And then I woke up in the morning and realised there was stains all over the bed.
Oh, no.
Safe to say, I jumped in the shower as quick as I could. I was like, oh no. I went downstairs, showed reception the photo, and they were like, we're so sorry.
Were the sheets white?
Oh God.
Yeah. And it was like brown stains. It was horrible.
No, that would make my skin crawl.
I'm not quite sure a refund would be enough for me.
I need a few years of therapy for that.
But it looked like they smelt fresh. Like the sheets didn't smell gross. Like they hadn't been washed. It was just, I think it was like it hadn't come off in the wash. I was like, well, throw them away.
I'm going to tell myself that it was coffee, not something else.
Yeah, it was coffee and spiders.
Coffee and spiders?
Yeah, all rubbed in nice.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm just going to go back. I actually have Jessica's thing here. So, Danielle, do you remember what the last video you did was? Oh, I saw your video. You mentioned what's your favorite way to exercise. You've done that one, right?
That was my last one.
Have you done how would you describe your signature style?
No, so I've got to catch up on that one.
And then also, what's your favorite quote?
Yes. I'm stumped on that. I'm a quote person. I love all different types of quotes. Picking one's going to be really hard.
Yeah, when I get that question, I find it really difficult as well. And so you had the photo shoot with Charlotte, which looked amazing. As I told you, like every time I see a photo shoot from Charlotte, all the headshots look absolutely amazing.
She's just amazing. She's so much fun to shoot with. She gives you so much confidence. You know, she doesn't expect everyone to come in and be like rocking it like a model. She really gives you great direction, tells you how amazing you look, which I get really awkward with her. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm not used to taking like compliments. I'm like, oh, thanks.
With that face, literally. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the compliment. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I had the UK Glam Squad glamming me. That's I felt very fabulous having the boys on hand.
I really think those are two people, well, three people that I want to either interview and or have them on the podcast, one being Charlotte and two, obviously, the UK Glam Squad. I just really want to pick their brains, and so many of you know them so well. It'd be nice to get an idea as to who they are. Charlotte is actually a pageant competitor, or used to be a pageant competitor. You said. What did she compete in?
She competed in Galaxy. She was actually first runner-up in the Mrs. category, and so she did win the right to go back. But then she fell pregnant with a miracle little baby, and so I'm trying to persuade her to go back. So obviously she's had the baby now, but a place was for her last year, and obviously she prioritised having the baby. So I'm like, come on, come back. See if like. Well, I suppose that's down to Maria, but I'm sure Maria would love to have her back.
Yeah. That sounds quite similar to Jessica Barclay's story herself. She had a miracle baby. She fell pregnant whilst in the lead up to Galaxy, and she had to pull out because she had the miracle baby as well.
Yeah. And the babies come first. I mean, you can compete pregnant, I believe, but it's personal preference.
Yeah. I mean, I completely understand making the baby the priority. over the pageant. That makes sense to me.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Well, that's us caught up for this week, and I need to think of the right way of phrasing this. I told you guys that there was something that I wanted to talk about, and it relates to do with Australian pageantry, but I'm sure that you guys have had aspects of it as well. Are bikini competitions, are they a thing in the UK?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They're like the Miami Pro style.
Okay. All right. So, I guess let me ask you this: in your opinions, and I understand that there's no right or wrong about this, but what would you guys see as the difference between a pageant and a modeling competition / bikini competition?
Go on, Lauren. I'll let you.
I was going to say, I don't really know much about them, but I do follow someone that is doing Miss Swimsuit out there in Mexico at the moment. And I think it is more about modeling and more of the size swimsuits, Sports Illustrated, more along that sort of line of things. I wouldn't say it's more about your charity work and your appearances and getting involved in your community. I think the difference is one is a modeling contest solely based on your modeling ability, and another one is more, yes, obviously you've got the modeling aspect in it, but you've also got the hard work that goes on behind the scenes as well. So there is a defining factors to both of those competitions.
Danielle, what about yourself? What do you see as the differences?
When you say swimsuit competition, do you mean is it in like they're kind of laid out like a pageant in the sense that you have an international that you go to and you compete in swimsuit? Or is it more kind of like the Miami Fitness Pro kind of lean, not quite bodybuilding? Because I know that's huge in Australia.
So, all right, so I guess I got to let me attempt to communicate to you what the issue that I've been having with, and this has sort of been an internal monologue, and I've just been like, I've been arguing with myself, am I okay with it or not? So when I say bikini competitions, the stereotypical one that I've seen here in Australia, and look, I'm going to preface this by saying if you want to go for it, go for it. It's not my place to tell you what to do in any sense, but a typical bikini comp here could be in a crowded pub. Obviously, the clientele is mainly men, probably mainly older men who may be slightly inebriated, and then you have a bunch of pretty girls walking in front of those men in small bikinis. So the issue, so the issue that I've been having is that there have been some pageants that have started that have proclaimed to be about women's empowerment. I guess it's really central to the issues. What's women's empowerment? They've been claiming that it's about empowering women, but it really is just a layer over the top of marketing over something that's more like a bikini competition. And I just want to know where you guys come down on it, because I said I don't feel like I have any right to tell anyone what to do. But I spoke to a friend last night. She used to compete in bikini competitions all the time, was super successful at it, and she said it was the most degrading thing she's ever done. And then I've spoken to some people who are still doing it now who really, really enjoy it. And I'm just curious as to where you guys come down on, do you feel that a bikini competition would be empowering to yourself, or is that something that you would stay away from?
Personally, that is something that I would stay away from, just because I just think it's the wrong setting. I think celebrating a bikini body is amazing. I think everyone should do a swimsuit, either competition or swimsuit round, or at least once in their life, just because it is so liberating. But I think that's the wrong setting to hold it in. Being around people that are, maybe drunk or, maybe not so in control of their actions, you're asking for trouble, basically. So there's got to be a lot of negative activity around that. So I think if you're going to run a swimsuit competition, don't hold it in a pub. Hold it in a hall where people are actually interested in and want to support their girl. I just think give the girls the best platform available for them. You know, get a nice venue. You know, if they're going to win a crown and they're going to be a queen, at least treat your girls like queens.
Yeah, well said.
I do think, like, personally, I would never do it. It's not something I've ever thought about. I much prefer the other side to pageantry, where you can get involved and meet new people. And I get you can do that through these swimsuit competitions, but if the venue is cheapening the event, then is that really something that you want to be a part of?
It's not good for your branding at the end of the day.
No.
If you're a model or if you are a beauty queen, what competitions you enter, you're going to be representing that brand and your own personal branding as well. You've got to figure out, is this a match with my brand and their brand? Because at the end of the day, it's a partnership if you win. I mean, some of these bikini contests, I think a lot of it is you win money, which is absolutely great. Power to your sister. Go get your dollar. If that's what it depends what you're going in it for, you know.
If that's something you want to do, go for it.
Absolutely. But I have no right to tell another female what they can and cannot do.
Yeah. It's just, and that's exactly what I said. It's like, I have no right to tell anyone what to do. If you want to do it, go for it. The issue that and to be honest, I've been struggling how to verbalize it, because it's not with bikini competitions. The issue I have is almost with sort of honesty, or that might be too harsh a word, with just transparency. I think calling it what it is. And if you have a modeling competition, call it a modeling competition. Don't try and say it's about something that it's not. And in terms of like women's empowerment, I would get that. Like, if you want to walk in a bikini because you've always been too afraid to do it and you find that empowering, I completely get that. But my question is walking in front of a bunch of men the same thing, for example, as walking in front of a bunch of your pageant sisters? Because I really don't feel that it is. I mean, do you guys agree on that?
See, I've seen like 2 different events, one in a nightclub and then one in a pool in Miami, and they're walking along the pool and it's very classy. As it possibly can be, walking in, you know, in front of it was in a, like a, what would you call them, like a pool
cabana?
Yeah, like kind of a bit like Ocean Beach in Ibiza. It was kind of that
like a
sort of vibe, but it was still done very tastefully. It wasn't like in a dingy old club where there's like smoke machines and everyone's getting drunk. Like, that would be something that maybe I would stay away from.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing it in Miami though, swim week.
I think modeling like a swimsuit in Miami around, you know, a beach club, I think that's fitting for the setting, and it's going to be a little bit of entertainment for the people that are coming down to the beach club.
A competition.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? You don't. That's something you're not going to pass it off and be like, "Oh, I've entered this to get involved in my community." No, you haven't, honey. You're in there to have a bit of fun, and there's no shame in that.
That's what I mean, though. It's like just calling it what it is and just being honest about what it is. So there's no advocacy, don't say there's an advocacy. If there's no charity work, don't pretend there is. And I've just sort of become, I guess, increasingly frustrated with people saying that things are certain things when I don't really feel that they are. I don't know if it's an issue in the UK. I don't know if it's an issue in the US. But to me, and there are different types of pageants as well, but I'm just curious as to what everyone and you guys watching, what you guys think is what you see as a difference between a pageant and between a modeling competition or a bikini competition, particularly, as I said, given that the bikini competitions sometimes are held in pubs in front of 80%, 90% male, and they could obviously have had a few too many drinks. But it's curious to me, because maybe I should ask you guys this in terms of women's empowerment, because it is a label that is thrown around a lot. And this is kind of a big question, but what to you guys, what does the term women's empowerment actually mean? Because it is thrown around a lot, and I've just been really curious as to you guys, what you think women's empowerment actually means.
I think for a woman, it's whatever gives you strength and supporting other women in what they're doing. It's lifting people instead of bringing people down. I think it shouldn't just be female empowerment. Like, female empowerment is amazing for the female movement because there's still injustice. But I think it should just be people empowerment. You know, everyone should just support everyone in that sense. I mean, guys, you know, get on with the female empowerment. Like, Adrian, you're awesome for getting on board with this. There's not enough of that. There's not enough guys getting on board and supporting their, you know, their sister or their, you know, pick up the mums, you know, they're the ones that gave birth to you. So
it is becoming more,
instead of ripping women down and you know, kind of objectifying them. You know, I get it all the time. You get objectified. Stop doing it.
Yeah. I mean, for you guys over in the UK, I mean, Andy Murray, the tennis player, he actually was quite proud to say that he was a feminist. And that is becoming more of a thing. I know the feminism, the other F word, is a completely different issue. And for the record, I define feminism as gender equality. I don't think we are the same, but I think everyone deserves equal opportunity if such a thing exists. I don't think men are better than women, and I certainly don't think the other way around either. But Lauren, for yourself, what women's empowerment? What does it mean to you?
I think, like Danielle said, for me it is just going and helping people. If I can share my experiences with someone else and empower them through, it makes me feel so empowered. And I think as well, for me, I go every day without makeup on. Some people enjoy wearing makeup, but for me, I am most empowered when I am just authentically me, whether I'm showing my acne. When I had acne, my empowerment was just going out there, and yes, I got negative, but I was like, I'm doing me, and that is what makes me feel empowered. Is every day I am authentically me, and that is all I can ever be.
Let me just go to the Facebook comments for a second. Oh, Joanna Johnson has said, sorry I'm late, was too busy getting free iPads. you had to pay for yours, Lauren. You got chips. Joanna's getting free ones. Hannah Golding has said, Charlotte is the best. I just need to record what she says to you in the shoot for when I feel low so I can hear that Irish voice.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Hannah has also said galaxy equals babies. That happened to me. And Hannah has said, yes, person here who competed preggers. Okay. Lauren's
power
mum.
to your sister girl. Power to you for doing that. Because we know how stressful it is when you're not pregnant. To do that pregnant, props to you.
Absolutely. Lauren's mum has said, I wouldn't let my daughter do it. So there you go. Lauren, you're not allowed to do a bikini competition. Miss Maria Torres, there is a difference between a swimsuit round in a pageant versus a bikini competition. That's kind of what I'm getting to. I like to think there's a difference, and then here in Australia, at least, I'm kind of seeing like a blurring of the lines where there's more sort of bikini comp style things, and they're calling themselves pageants, and I'm like, I don't really like that, because I'd like to think there's a difference. Both are fine, but just call one and call one the other. That's my issue.
I think one thing I've started to notice within the swimwear round in the UK is when I was obviously being coached by Maria, it was more about, right, find a swimsuit that fits perfectly. I don't want any butt cheek on show. I want something that really covers your butt and just for you to look your best. Now, for me, swimwear is about showing how confident I am in my own skin, and I'm a positive. Like, I always think if you've got a healthy body, you've got a healthy mind too. So if you're eating clean, going to the gym, that's going to release good endorphins for you. And that's how I see it. But now I've started to see that people see swimwear as a way to get a skimpy bikini, get on stage and show off the whole cheek. And I'm not a fan of this. I like a covered up butt cheek. I don't like boobs being out too much. Like, for me, it's just not something I want to see on a swimsuit round. Like, I want to see your swimsuit. Yeah, like I've seen boobs falling out, butt cheeks fully on show to the point where I'm like, that's too much.
Hungry bum syndrome.
I'm literally like that monkey emoji where he's covering his eyes, and I'm like, no.
there's different performances as well.
Yeah.
So if you're going out into a swimsuit and you're in front of a load of men, you're probably going to be sexualizing that up a little bit to get the audience behind you, to get those extra votes in. With a pageant, you are so focused on being poised, having fun in the moment, not having to worry about people leering at you, because it doesn't attract that kind of, the people that are going there, it's monitored. Do you know what I mean? You're in a safe environment there. And everyone is supporting you and not like wolf whistling and making you feel awkward. But also, I have seen some overly sexualized performances at a pageant.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that doesn't really go down well, because this is about confidence, not trying to appear like overly sexualized. And it's surprising. I've actually seen it in teen categories as well.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like tone down the, I hate using this word, but like hoochiness maybe. It's kind of a little bit more fun, like carefree, happy. I always think go into it with the biggest smile with swimwear. Don't go in there trying to be all smouldering, because it just looks a little bit awkward on stage in a pageant.
Smile, don't do that sexy, like the smiles. Don't do the smiles in swimwear.
I mean, it's fine if you're like having a smile and then you want to change it up and give it a little bit of like sass. That's cool, but don't go in there and go, they're doing all that
and
kind
don't
of
start like feeling yourself.
Oh yeah, I've seen that as well. It's
Okay.
The judges don't like it.
Do you think, just in general, maybe not just in pageantry, but do you think that there are people who would listen to this and just say that we're being too prudish?
Maybe,
probably,
potentially, but I think
everyone
there's
else
a
has their own
difference.
opinion.
Like, is that you? Is that authentically you going out there and smouldering and like? I've seen people lick their lips.
But also remember, this is a competition. You are there to win. If you want to win, there are certain things that you do and you don't do.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you want to win, you'll follow everything that people are saying. It may pay off, it may not. You may place well.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
slightly different. You want to see the girl in a pageant that's authentically being herself and having fun, not going out there just trying too hard in general to look overly sexualized. It's not about that. This is the wrong kind of setting for that. If you want to do a swimsuit show, then do a swimsuit show. That's something completely different.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, it's up to every individual to make their own choice as to what they do, and no one else has the right to judge. I just think it's incredibly important.
Except for the judges.
Of course. But, I mean, I don't think they're judging intent.
You are being judged.
Yeah. But I think your intent really matters. I think if you're doing it because it's authentically you, that's great. More power to you. I think if you're doing it because you feel a bit insecure and you want attention, I'm not sure that that's emotionally maybe the healthiest thing, but I think everyone needs to be, it's like people always say, be yourself in pageantry, right? We've all heard that. We've all said that. I always like to preface it by saying, if you're going to be yourself, you actually need to know yourself first. And that's an ongoing journey. But it's just been, as I said, it's been a bit of a frustration for me when I'm seeing things that are being called pageants, and I'm like, I don't really.
Not really a pageant.
Yeah, in terms of the advocacy, right? They're talking about empowering women to do certain things and to do certain philanthropic work, and I'm like, that's you've not mentioned that anywhere on social. You've not posted anything about what the work you're doing with charities, with what charities. Every photo is simply a girl in a bikini, and to me, it's just like it rubs me the wrong way. I think it's being disingenuous, and I think it's taking advantage of women. And you're offering a cash prize. I think then that's even. Like, great, I'd love to see pageant girls get paid, but it was a combination of all those things, and I'm going, I just really don't, it doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, I mean, there are pageants out there that are swimsuit heavy, like Miss Universe. They love a swimsuit and the body. They'll do swimsuit shoots, but also they have the correct setting. They hold it in an arena for pageant fans, not in a pub or somewhere where it could be drunken louts. You know, there's nothing wrong in, having just a swimsuit competition. That is fine. And having advocacy, that is great. It's just the setting I have a problem with.
Yeah. absolutely. So Jessica Buckley said, for me, it's a judging criteria. What are judges being asked to award points for? And energy and confidence equal good reasons for points. Being a certain size or specific shape equals bad reasons for points in my book. And she says that she gained the most body confidence through the swimwear round. I mean, I was asked to judge a bikini competition by one of my friends, and straight up, I don't often do this, but I straight up just said no. Then I thought, okay, I've never been to one, I shouldn't judge it without actually having been to one, because that's how I started in pageantry. If I had judged pageantry without getting involved, I wouldn't be standing in front of you here today. And then eventually what happened was, because it was a girl organizing it, it was done in a very tasteful manner, and it was done in a very safe manner. So, it's just like pageants, there are different types of pageants. Bikini competitions, there's different types. And I think you just really need to make sure that you're safe. Let's just say that, because I think that's what I worry about, is girls going into that sort of arena and just like, I question some people's intent. Hannah Golding has said, I love a bit of sass, but I wouldn't say it's prudish. Like, you wouldn't be on a beach touching your body and licking your lips on the beach.
No.
I don't know, maybe some people would be. Not myself anyway, definitely. Unless I was eating and I was really hungry, in which case I might be licking my lips. Maria, I had to tell some of our Aussie girls a couple times in the past, where is the rest of your bikini? Itty bitty tiny bikinis that even made me blush. I think Lucinda finally started having a say in her winter suits. I guess you have stereotypical countries as well. Obviously, the Galaxy competition here in Australia, it's held on the Gold Coast, which is like, if you want perfect weather, it's 28 degrees Celsius every day, 80% humidity. So it is, I was living there. I felt overdressed if I was wearing shoes. So it is a reflection of, where the country comes from. Look, I'm glad to see I'm not the only one. And again, if you want to go in it, go in it. Like, don't even listen to me. But I wanted to put it out there, because I've been seeing this kind of blurring of the lines. But anyway, all right. In terms of what's going on, Harriet is still competing in Miss International. So I've been seeing a lot of the posts, and she seems to be doing well. Lauren, you probably have been keeping on top of all the messages. Have you been seeing?
I've been trying to, but I have been so busy today that I have just missed out on a lot of them. So tomorrow will be my day. Well, actually, no, tomorrow's the final.
Tomorrow's the final.
Yeah. So maybe I'll have to catch
already.
up tonight. Yep, finals tomorrow.
I have such a good feeling about Harriet.
Me
honestly,
this is like
best feeling. No, sorry, that's my cat trying to nick my food.
I just feel like she is really, really doing well and holding her own, because it must be. Well, I think the whole of the UK is helping her hold her own, though. Like, all the support that we're all showing to her is amazing, and I think that's really what is contributing to a lot of the things that are going on. Because I think once you see that a certain country is gaining that support, then you're going to back them even more.
Obviously we talked about last week the WhatsApp group for support. How important do you think that has been obviously Harriet's done all the work. No one would take the credit for that.
And her
but
mum
that
is
support group,
her butt off for Harriet as well,
absolutely.
behind the scenes.
Yeah. So how important do you think that WhatsApp group has been in terms of winning some of the hot picks and the polls and things like that?
I think very important. I feel like social media and fan engagement is a huge thing that comes with pageantry. So for me, really seeing all those comments and everyone seeing them too, the fans are probably like, oh my goodness, she's got a lot of supporters, and the UK are really, really getting behind her. So it must mean something. Like, I feel like in the space of a few months, like, UK pageantry has just done a complete 360.
Yeah,
and it's
so nice to see.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you.
We've got a presence now.
Is this a first?
Yeah.
Is this a new kind of thing? Because obviously I wasn't involved with UK pageantry a year ago. So if you go back a year,
this is something that Harriet's mum. So like last year when I was at Grand, it was so hard to get everyone to just vote. There was even people voting against me, and I'm like, why? We're all from the same country. We're all doing the same thing. Like, why are we voting against each other? And I was just like, how sad is this that you're just taking your time to go on a poll and vote against me? I'm like, come on. So I think now to see that it's finally, it's like it's clicked, the light has switched on in everyone's head, and they're like, yeah, okay, maybe we should support each other.
Yeah. Because before, someone would win and then you'd be like, oh yeah, good luck. You'd get like an inbox, but you wouldn't have everyone commenting on, socials. Like, sorry, my cat is about to nick my food. Thomas, can you stop?
So I think like for me at Grand, I was having to message everyone individually, which was probably annoying for them and annoying for myself, but it was so much effort just to get someone to even like a photo or share a photo, to the point where my friends were sharing the photo privately on their own Facebook 100 times a day just to get me noticed. So no one else could see it but them, but they were like blocked on Facebook, and like my girls pulled through and they got me in like the top 20 for, I can't remember what it was, maybe national costume, just by sharing it like 100 times a day on their personal Facebook privately.
I have to ask you guys, why do you think it's changed? I mean, you said it was in the last few months. Do you think it's just something that's been building and finally it's just hit threshold and it's changed? Or do you think there have been certain events or certain people who have done something?
I think it's been a gradual thing. I'd like to think that I helped somehow. Obviously, it's Harriet's mum that made the group, but I've always I think I was the first one to ever jump on a flight and go support someone at an international pageant. And I jumped on a flight and I went and support Grace Levy over at Miss Universe. Yeah. For me, I've always, if I meet someone and I've done a pageant with them and they won, I'm going to support them. I'm going to back them because they're a representative of me. They're a representative of the ones that didn't win the crown. So you got to support them. You have to support them. But I think this has been like a gradual thing. That everyone's now starting to realise, oh yeah, they represent us as well. Let's support them. I think before it was like, oh, she won, so yeah, good luck to her at the international. But this mentality has now changed.
I think it's open discussions that people are having though as well. I think just open debates and discussions are so positive for pageantry, because you may have a misconception of someone or an issue with someone, but being able to discuss it on, I always put up discussions and debates on the page that I run, and I think it's healthy and it gives someone a place as well to discuss what they may need help on, and having Sarah being able to post on there and start a WhatsApp group and everyone to add in there so that we're not spamming everyone constantly on Facebook and posts are being missed. So I think having a place like that where you can just post everything is what's
such a
really
brilliant idea,
triggering people to comment on these things.
I do think a lot of the credit does have to come back to girls such as yourself, though, because if you weren't in the mindset that you wanted to support the other girls, none of the Facebook groups or none of the technology in the world can make up for the fact that girls are not supporting other girls. So it
costs nothing to like a photo or comment on a photo. Even if you don't know the girl, she's still representing your country. We are trying to change the way the UK pageantry scene is saw in the UK, and if we can do that by showing that we can unite as one, why not? It literally takes 2 seconds. Just do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, powerhouses like the Philippines and the Venezuela and India, and who else is very good? Puerto Rico and Colombia. They're powerhouses because they have fans.
Yeah.
Now, you might be a competitor, but you are also a fan of UK pageantry, so you should be posting on. You've only got to look at a post of Miss Philippines in any pageant, and there will be hundreds of comments.
Oh yeah.
We need to be that. We need to do that.
Even if you're commenting 5 million times, do it.
Yeah.
Even if you get banned on Facebook, do it.
This is the other thing I wanted to ask you. Hot picks and things like that. I've never really I didn't know what they were, and certainly from Australia, it's never really been pressed. Like, I haven't had, for example, when we send a girl overseas, we haven't really had the national directors encouraging us, even directing us, how can we vote for our contestants. It's very occasional. So the whole hot picks thing, I just thought it was a vote on someone's social media, so I thought it was kind of irrelevant. But I've since been told it's, depending on the pageant, it can be super important. So can you guys tell me what exactly hot picks are and why they're important?
It's kind of what the fans accumulate and who they kind of think. A hot pick is usually who they think in order where everyone's going to place. Obviously, as fans, you're outward in, so you kind of seeing the whole competition as what's going on. So you have ideas of who's standing out. It does give you a little kick up the bottom if you're an international and you see yourself not in there. You think, okay, right, tomorrow I need to be on my game. Okay, I need to kill it in my interview. Right, this look tomorrow, I need to get some more images to put on socials, because people are watching all of your socials. And I don't think hot picks affect the judges per se.
That's what I was going to ask.
I think it doesn't affect what the judges think. At the end of the day, they're judging what's in front of them. They'll know who's got support and who hasn't got support, but I don't think they're going to go, oh, she was number one in a hot pick, so she's got to win. That's not the case. If you get picked as number one in a hot pick, does not mean you're going to win. I got number one hot pick in about 3 hot picks at Grand, and I didn't even place top 20. So it has absolutely no say in where your placement is. And same as if you don't get picked in the hot picks, you can still win. Don't let it get you down. Don't read the comments. That's like my number one bit of advice for anyone at an international. But it's I'd rather just talk to your friends and family when you get a spare moment, because it is hectic whenever you go to an international. Just don't read anything. I think that's probably the better thing. It's nice reading, hearing nice compliments, but you could spend so much time just scrolling, seeing what people have to say about you. It does not matter what people think about you.
It really can.
It really can. And it can be ugly. I've seen tears. I've seen all sorts. I saw so much at Grand that I was just like, I'm staying away from this. Like, message people back. But then after a while, I was like, I need to just not read these anymore. I mean, luckily I got all nice stuff. I think there was a couple of things. I got told that I looked like one of Henry VIII's wives. That was interesting. I think it was probably like Jane Seymour or someone. Yeah, I don't know. But like, I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that I look like one of Henry VIII's wives. You know, after a while, I had to put my phone down. The only time I pick it up is if I had to get back to friends or take photos. Just don't read the comments.
Yeah. I feel that reading the comments underneath a post, especially when there's an international pageant on, can be a bit of a black hole, because you read the comments and if you're lucky, they're positive. But I mean, you know, there are certainly times when they're not so positive. I've had to block a couple of people from my Facebook page just because the way they comment and some of the messages they send me. It's just like, I used to not want to do it because I thought it was rude. Now, and I was talking to my best friend about this, and he said, you got to value your own sort of mental health and sanity above basically above everything else. So nowadays, I'll probably give people one chance. And then if they continue to send me things that I think are inappropriate, or they say things that are inappropriate, I just block them and then move on, because I don't think it's worth it. And I can imagine, like, if you're competing at an international pageant, the last thing that you really need to be dealing with is negativity on social media.
Absolutely. It can really ruin your day.
Miss Grand International Fails video. I tried not to watch it, but after the competition ended, I kind of had a little chuckle to myself in my room.
I love the video. I love it. I made the compilation fail video too, and I love it. I think it's hilarious. I'm proud that I made it.
Well, at least you made it somewhere.
Hey, you don't remember the ones that didn't mess up. You remember the ones that messed up, and I'd rather be memorable.
I think fan engagement is like a critical thing about pageants. It does kind of get you out there a little bit. Like the hot picks, I remember Holly always telling us, pay no attention to the hot picks because they mean nothing. Yeah. I can kind of see both sides. They do get you more attention, they do. it's like a rippling effect. You make one in maybe the top 5, and then everyone else starts seeing you, and then they start following you, and then your social media grows. But then it doesn't mean that you're going to be in that position when it comes to the finals. There were so many girls that made the hot picks, and they honestly thought they'd made top 20 to the point where they actually stood forward, and it wasn't their country being called. And we're very disappointed afterwards. So it's one of those things, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, just with everything.
Absolutely. I'm just going to cut across to the Facebook comments quickly. So Joanna, oh, by the way, so some people on my page are now getting these top fan badges. I don't know, I'm not awarding them. Facebook is somehow deciding who the top fans.
It does it, yeah.
I got one.
You got one, and Joanna. Lauren, you don't have one. You're dropping the ball.
Crying now.
But Joanna Johnson has one, and she has said 5:30 a.m. in the morning it starts. So is that okay? I imagine that's a stream, so I'm sure you can tune into their page and get the live stream. But apparently it would be early for you guys. I don't know if
I'm going to be awake because
set your alarms.
So tired. I might set it and then fall back to sleep.
Well, you just watch it from your bed. It's not like you need to, that's the good thing about it. Maria has said, I think the same can be said for girls who do more, in inverted commas, modeling competitions and then enter a pageant. I think they should have won because they had the best walk. Modeling comps are different than pageants. And that, interestingly enough, you mentioned that, Maria, that has been a thing here with pageants where to get more girls in, because pageantry has actually been shrinking in this country, I know that some people have actually gone to modeling agencies to get girls in. So it's in a weird situation where I go to a pageant and I realize that half the contestants have come from the same modeling agency. And then when I interview them, they collectively have no clue as to what pageantry is about. And they're kind of surprised that they have to talk and do the interview. So that, I definitely understand where Maria's coming from on that. Joanna has said, me too. She's got a really good feeling about Harriet. And OMG, I went down my profile page after that and it was all Lauren.
Oh, when Lauren was at Grand and everyone was sharing it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went back and deleted mine when it came up on my memories because I think I shared my own photo because, hey, I'm that girl that does that.
Gotta do it. Self-promote.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Louise has said, we love that you came to Myanmar. That must be for you, Danielle.
I love being there. We did our baby shark every night and, went out on the Myanmar strip and we had a great laugh. Like I say, I love traveling to international pageants. It combines my 2 favorite things. And my 3rd favorite thing is Louise as well. So, I
have a
Maybe
question.
You should get my mum on next week instead of me.
Yeah.
She did actually ask who the guest is, and long story short, because I had Grace just on Louise, I didn't have time to find a guest, and I didn't want to do a potential guest at the service of, are you on? Are you not? I did that to Joanna last week and I already feel bad. But Danielle, back up. Baby Shark, what?
Yeah, Baby Shark. Baby
I know, but
Shark.
I know the song, but what?
Baby Shark.
I finally got someone to sing on stream. But what do you mean? You sung that? You sung that every night, or you what do you mean you did that?
We did it every night in the hotel
God, that
lobby.
would be annoying. Oh, that's such a horrific song. When I have my 4-year-old nephew over here and I play that song and he starts going on it and he starts making it up, I'm like, oh, please stop. It's such an earworm song.
Oh, I love it. There was a guy at work that had never heard it before and it's got like so many billion views on YouTube. I was like, how have you not heard this song? It is literally, it was number 1 for ages, was it not?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it was ever reached number 1, did it? Not in the UK, surely not.
Well, I don't know,
downloads.
but I think in terms of views,
YouTube number 1, yeah.
In terms of views, it was like the Gangnam Style video. I preferred the Gangnam song. That was one that I could enjoy. The Baby Shark song is like drives you insane. Yeah, He did a second song that wasn't nearly as popular. Now I don't know what he's doing. Alicia Sanderson -Mears has said, "Hey girls." Joanna has said, I'm a top fan, Facebook told me. Yes, Joe. I just want to reiterate for the people watching, I do not give out the badges. Facebook decides. So obviously, if you've been stalking me enough, then you get a top fan badge. And Lauren has not been stalking me enough, which is why she doesn't get a top fan badge. What I would love
It's not really
is...
top fan, it's top stalker.
What I would love is if your mum, Lauren, got the top fan badge before you did.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I'm on all the lives, so I can't comment on them unless I just start commenting, asking questions for myself.
Well, here's an interesting thing. I would never have asked Danielle to interview if I hadn't seen her name pop up again and again, asking questions in the lives I did. Like when Maria was on, I just kept seeing Danielle Latimer, and I'm like, who is this person? She kept asking all these questions. I was like, okay. And then she started sharing my post. I'm like, okay, this girl is seriously crazy about pageants. So, you know, if you want to be visible,
She's mental.
You got to. Well, I didn't think
Let's
that.
Get her on.
But yeah, that's how I actually asked Danielle for an interview, because I just saw her name keep popping up, and I thought, well, it would be rude not to ask her to interview because she's always watching all my stuff. Louise has said, love you. I think that's addressed to Danielle.
I
No,
love
it's
you
addressed to you,
too.
Adrian.
Huh? Oh.
It's addressed to you, Adrian. She's got a secret crush.
You just dobbed your mum in it.
I'm joking. I don't know. I don't speak to my mum. She's in the other room.
Okay. I'm just going to move on from the awkward silence. I don't need clarification on that. It's good. It's great. Do whatever floats your boat. Joanna has also said, haha, I'm a last minute option. It's okay, Adrian, I understand. I know, but I feel bad. And also that stream bombed horribly because my internet decided to die. Hannah has said, I'm finally rid of that song now, finally. Well, Danielle sung it again, so is it back in your head?
It's still whizzing around my head. I can't get that song out of it. I was doing it at work the other day as well. Because my colleague Matt had never heard the song, so I had to play the song several times and show him the dance moves.
What are the...
It's when my niece starts going, baby shark, do, do, do.
What are the dance moves? I didn't know there were dance moves. Are there dance moves to Baby Shark? I only knew
Yeah. There's Baby Shark.
Oh.
And then
Mummy
there's
Shark,
like Grandma Shark.
Daddy Shark, Grandma Shark, Grandpa Shark. Let's go hunt the doo-doo-doo-doo. Let's go hunt the doo-doo-doo-doo.
Let's go hunt the doo-doo-doo. Run away, do-do-do-do, run away.
Well, I'm glad that we finally had singing on a live stream. That's that's been my goal for 2019, is to get someone to sing live. So now I've got two people to do it.
Baby Shark.
Alicia has said it's fully stuck in her head, and Hannah Golding has said it will haunt me in my dreams. So well done to the two of you. Okay, so what we'll do, because I know that Danielle has not eaten and I don't want to keep her there until she just passes out from hypoglycemia, let's wrap this up. Can you guys let us know what you've got in the works for the upcoming week? Pageant or not pageant related? Danielle, do you want to go first?
Sure. So, for once, I have a free weekend. Woo! I probably won't have a free weekend by the time Wednesday comes around.
I was going to say.
I'll probably have plans. Obviously, I still have my Sunday service. I'm kind of lining up things for that now because I have been doing a little bit ad hoc. So I've been lining up some things for that, potentially going to a wildlife centre this Sunday. Mm-hmm. Depending, I might be going to Cardiff this weekend. If I do go to Cardiff, I'm going to meet up with some Galaxy girls down there and we'll probably do a Sunday service together.
Nice.
But if I don't, I'll go to the wildlife centre. But yeah, I've got 2 days to fill, whether it be pageant or whether it be relaxing for once. I need to go to a spa or something. I need
Sunday service in a spa.
Yeah. What am I gonna do there?
Help them clean the sauna.
Oh,
but
pick the hair out the drain.
Oh no. No. I just like how when you're saying that you have 2 days free, you look like you don't know what to do with yourself. It's like, I have 2 days free. What do I do?
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do
Sleep.
with myself.
Sleep.
I probably. I have a bit of like, I don't know. I can't sleep now. I'm just too like.
Recuperate. That's what you need.
I don't know what that is. I feel lost. I'm like a lost puppy looking for things to do at the weekend. So I've been messaging everyone. I'm like, hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Okay, so if you're watching and you have any things that Danielle can do, like if you want her to wash your car, you want her to clean your gutters
Sunday
or whatever,
service,
mow
come and
your
help
lawn.
me pack my suitcase.
Oh,
I
that's
can
all
help
right.
you pack your suitcase.
Thanks.
How often do
You
you
should just start there
two...
with nothing anyway. You've got a wardrobe ready for when you get out there.
I know, that's true. I'm having my first dress fitting as well when I'm there.
How often do you two actually see each other in person? And how close are you, just geographically speaking?
Ooh. We are like 4 hours away.
Jeez,
Yeah, 4
it's not
hours.
exactly
And
close.
It's not really that often.
No, I think recently it's been a little bit more because obviously you had your makeup masterclass and then
Yeah. Team GB.
Teen GB. Wow.
Okay, so hang on. How did you guys first meet?
Miss Wales 2016. Danielle was there helping out, and that was the first time I'd properly met you, and it was only briefly, I think, in the empowerment day with Harry.
Empowerment day, yeah. So Harry Singer is an empowerment coach, and he kind of took me under his wing a little bit. We're both from the same place. And so I think he just saw a little something in me and wanted to help me with my goals. And one of them was I wanted to work on my speech because obviously my dyslexia is something I want to work on, my public speaking skills. So he kind of took me under the wing because he's a master at that. And he kind of threw me at the deep end and said, right, you're going to give a speech to the Miss Wales girls. I was like,
nice.
Okay, what can I do this on? So I just spoke about my experience competing in Miss Universe Great Britain, which is a different competition, but the fact that obviously I didn't take away the crown and all the things that I'm doing afterwards and how much it's enriched my life without even winning the crown. So I delivered a really rambly speech. I was thrown at the deep end. I didn't have anything planned.
Yeah.
And then I had a little chat with the girls afterwards. And Lauren was one of the girls that I had a little chat with afterwards.
Can I ask you guys what your first impressions of each other were?
I just thought that Lauren was someone that was really interested in pageants. She asked a ton of questions. You really stood out for your personality. Obviously, she's beautiful, but I thought you really stood out. My cat is attacking my food, sorry. Thomas! No,
Stop talking about Lauren. We don't like her.
What really stuck out with Lauren, she was actually, you were dang confident as well, asking questions, because there was girls that were kind of like a little bit maybe too shy to ask questions.
Too shy, too quiet.
I felt like you really got the ball rolling on that. You asked questions and everyone else was kind of getting involved and asking questions. You definitely have always had that kind of leader spirit about you, and that was probably one of my first thoughts about Lauren.
Oh, nice. Lauren, your turn to say nice things about Danielle.
I think I was kind of a little bit scared, not in the sense of Danielle, but of the whole situation anyway. And I was like, oh my God, is she going to be a judge? Oh, is she judging us right now? I was like, let me sound like I really know what I'm doing. But I also really wanted to gain more knowledge. I think that's something that I've always been very interested in life, is asking questions, because if you don't ask, you'll never know. So one of the questions that I asked was, because obviously I have tattoos, and I wanted to know, because I didn't know about like tattoo cover-up back then. So I asked Danielle, what do you think of girls that have tattoos and do pageants? I don't have many. They're like tiny ones that can cover. And Danielle said to me, strategic dressing. If you've got one on your arm, you wear a long sleeve. If the pageant likes tattoos, then show them off. But most... Yeah.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable at the end of the day. I think I remember giving you the analogy of Holly Hale. Holly Hale was a previous Miss Universe Great Britain, and she has script written down the side of her torso. And when she won Miss Universe Great Britain, obviously there is a swimsuit round in that. She wore a swimsuit that was like a one piece that had a cutout at the side, and it was on the side where she didn't have a tattoo. So her tattoo was perfectly hidden, but obviously you could still see like her physique. But she managed to find a swimsuit that just covered that tattoo perfectly, and she won, and no one had any idea that she had a tattoo, because sometimes you do find it's down to the girl, really. You can find yourself staring at the tattoo or reading it, it can be a little bit distracting instead of focusing on the girl. Yeah, and she mastered that and covered it perfectly. So that's kind of something that's always stayed with me, is if you want to cover something, don't necessarily go straight to the makeup. Have a good look at wardrobe options. Like I say, if you do have a sleeve and maybe you don't feel comfortable showing it, wear a long sleeve.
Yeah.
If you have tattoos up your legs and maybe you want to hide it, maybe an evening gown, go for something without a split.
Yeah. And there are some systems where there are some systems where showing the tattoos actually is not a thing at all. That's certainly in Australia. Yeah. I know there are some systems that really don't mind if you have a tattoo. And I judged that one, and it said explicitly that we had to swear that we weren't going to judge someone down because they had tattoos. Yeah. We were told you're not allowed to judge down for that. So I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, I don't think you should judge on tattoos as a judge. You shouldn't mark down because someone has a tattoo. Absolutely not. But I'm just thinking about the girl and her confidence, how she feels. If it's a tattoo that you don't necessarily like, if you can strategically dress, then whatever makes you feel confident. If you want to get them out and show off your ink,
regret mine so much. So one piece of advice is don't get tattoos.
Yeah, it's something that no one would ever regret, ever. Okay, I'm going to so I'll circle back to Lauren in terms of what she's got planned for the next week. But Facebook comments, Hannah has said they also have a dinosaur song with the same tune and monkeys. Louise has said,
I have to check that one out.
I really don't want to. Louise has said, you're all off your heads. Thank you, Louise. Joanna Johnson has written, safe at last. Oh, God. And Hannah Gold, so Danielle, you can go and babysit Hannah's child if you want Sunday service.
I can come look after P.
There you go. That can be your Sunday service. All right, Miss Parkinson, now that Danielle is done saying how amazing you are, what have you got on for the next week?
Work non-stop because I'm off to Thailand next week. So this weekend will probably be filled with me packing my suitcase and getting everything sorted, ready to go.
That sounds exciting.
So yeah, that's all I've really got on. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
How long's the flight to get to Thailand?
So it is 6.5 to Qatar and then another 6.5 to Bangkok.
Oh, that's easy.
So
that's
I
nothing.
always like to separate them because I can get off the flight, have like a drink, and then back on again.
Okay.
It's an easy layover, that one.
I always flutter my eyelashes, and I always get a three seats to myself. So I just lie flat, and I'm fast asleep for the whole flight.
Okay, can you show us the fluttering? Teach me. I'm not good at fluttering.
I need your lashes. This is why I need the LVL lashes.
I check my luggage and I go, by any chance, do you have any seats with no one else next to them? I'm a nervous flyer.
Oh, that is genius.
It is. And because I look like so young, they're like, of course, yes, let me see what we can do.
And then there she is, sparkoed out. Lovely life.
As well, but I'm going at such late on in the year, the flight's not going to be busy anyway, because no one really goes on vacation this time of the year.
I have the feeling, I'm not certain, but I have the feeling that if I did that to someone who was boarding me on a flight, I would get a different result than you did, Lauren.
They'll put you by the toilet, so you've got to sit bolt upright.
I'll be lucky if I get to the toilet. I'm not sure I'll be allowed on the flight to begin with, so maybe I won't do that. But Danielle, feel free to give it a red hot crack.
I'm going to try that.
What was the script again? It sounded like you actually have a script. It's exactly what you said.
Me?
Yeah. You sound like you had the whole thing planned out. Like you've done it so many times.
It starts with the flutter in the eyelash, and you go, by any chance, do you have any seats spare where there's no one sitting next to me? I'm a nervous flyer.
All right, so Danielle, your turn. Give it a go.
By any chance, are there any seats? No, I don't know. I don't have your game, Lauren.
Are there any?
By any chance, are there any seats
next to me?
No one sitting next to me. I'm a nervous player. Or just bump me up to first class, yeah? Thanks.
Yeah. I'm like first class. You never know.
I think you just...
I really like champagne. So can you bump me up to first class, please?
Or just be like, I feel really, really sick. And at any moment I could probably throw up. Is there any chance that you have got any spare seats in first class, just in case?
That champagne bucket will do.
Yeah, just pass it over here. And the bottle. The bottle's fine.
That'll do. That'll help me, yeah. Mouthwash.
Danielle, I think you need to work on imitating Lauren's face. She has this whole sort of inner pain, like very empathetic, and you don't have it.
That came out in me. Like I did it for 3 years. It was good fun.
I don't do innocent very well.
Why did that not surprise me at all?
I've only got to listen to my accent and think, oh yeah, sketchy.
All right, love, you've got a spare seat.
All right, guys.
It's I know you wrote on your Instagram, Danielle, that I think it's a proud Cockney or Cockney. So is your accent a Cockney accent?
Yeah. It's a little bit watered down. So because I've worked over in Chelsea and those kinds of places, it is watered down a little bit. So I can go into it if I wanna. The odd word sounds very Cockney.
Okay, because
it's mainly the things that I say that I think are quite Cockney. So I say, "You're right, darling," or you're right. Like I call people treacle.
Up the apples and pears.
Yeah, Cockney rhyming slang. Gives a score. What else?
Up the apples and pears. What does that mean? That sounds very invasive.
It's upstairs.
Oh. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. It sounded like some sort of procedure you have at the doctor's.
Oh.
Up the apples and pears.
What else? If I said to you, Adrian, I've seen your boat race before. I've seen your boat before. Your boat's familiar.
Well, Lauren is doing this, so I'm assuming it's face.
Face. Boat race is face. If someone says, I've seen your boat before. Your face.
My God. Okay. I don't understand what you're saying. People said I wouldn't understand Scottish. I don't understand Cockney.
Factory that I know all these rhyming slangs.
It's a different language. I'll teach you some when you're over.
And the reason I ask is because I was watching reruns. I don't know if you saw the old BBC show IT Crowd. It was on like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, he's an IT nerd. He doesn't speak Cockney. And he decides to speak Cockney a little bit to interact with his sports fans. And then after a scene, the next day, he's got this neck brace on. And the guy asks him, what's wrong with your neck? He said, I've been speaking Cockney too much. I got Cockney neck. I was just wondering like what that meant, because I didn't really understand it.
I don't really understand that either. I thought you meant that he's probably taken the piss and probably got beat up.
No. Apparently speaking Cockney gave him a sore neck. So I'm like, what's Cockney? I have to ask Danielle.
Yeah, we kind of like have our own rhyming slang. It's called Cockney rhyming slang. If you Google it, there is a ton, and there's new ones coming out as well. Yeah, there's so much. Yeah, it's just the language that we speak here.
I am seriously going to have to brush up, not on my Scottish, not on my Welsh, not on my Irish, but on my Cockney by the sounds of it.
You do. It's an art form. It's a different. It's an art form, and you can just chuck it in there and shock people with your Cockney.
I've been working on my Scottish accent, so maybe it's time to start working on my Cockney accent.
You have to give us a preview now. Are you Scottish?
Oh God, no! I don't do it when I'm potentially going to offend certain people.
Things like this and not follow through with them.
So many.
Can you say, "Hi, my name's Adrian, and you've tuned into the Pageant Project"?
No, I'm not good enough to do that yet. I will give it a go when
I do Hayley Galloway's, because when we went to Miss Galaxy International, obviously Hayley was representing Scotland. And it was like a thing at Teen GB. We were walking back to the hotel. All we were going, Hayley Galloway, Miss Galaxy Scotland.
Scotland.
It
comes from a different, it comes from a different part of the throat. It's all these different accents.
Yeah.
I told you guys this before, and Danielle, you went to Chloe Adkins' event, the glitter ball, I think it was, and
Yes.
I'll be interviewing her. She sent me a video, and her accent, I don't know if you remember it, but her accent sounds completely different to anything I've heard before, and I actually found it slightly difficult to understand. So I just said to her, like, where's that accent from? Because all of you have slightly unique accents, but yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
you only got a couple of miles and you've got a different accent.
Wow.
Okay. I've got a really tuned ear as well. Whenever I meet people, I listen for a bit. I'm like, oh, are you from? I can tell when someone's from like Lewisham or someone's from North London or West London. I can kind of pick out geographically. I'm like the female version of what's his name from My Fair Lady. What's his name?
Trivia.
Can't remember. Someone message in the comments below if you know who that person is. The film of Audrey Hepburn, My Fair Lady, he smooths out her accent. She's a Cockney. Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady. That's kind of like who I base myself on. When people ask me kind of like, what's your branding? Well, I'm a lady now.
Do you want to try Lauren's flirty face again? How do you do it, Lauren? How is it this? Do you have the whole? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you got to put the hand under. Yeah,
it's the hand.
It's the hand.
It works all the time. What can I say?
Okay, I will try it when I'm flying to the UK. If I don't get there, it's because I tried your face.
As well, that gets them.
Oh, I'll put contact lenses in. That's good. I'll put baby blue contact lenses in, and then I'll try your flirty face. And if I don't make it to the UK, it's because I've been thrown in jail.
Been detained.
Yep.
Too much eye fluttering and a contact popping out.
Is he on something?
And then it'll be up the apples and pears for me, and I don't mean up the stairs. I mean up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, Sandal Taylor has said Henry Higgins. Is that who you were talking about, Danielle?
Henry Higgins. Yes. That's the one.
Saved by the fans.
Henry Higgins.
Perfect. Okay, well, let's wrap it up there. Just quickly, who do I have coming up next week for the Pageant Project interviews? I'm almost booked out to next year now. So, I've got a couple of slightly different ones. So next week is Angel Batal, who did compete in Galaxy, I believe. She's now Miss Global Canada. That's on Monday, my time. If you go to the events tab on the Pageant Project, all these interviews are listed so you can keep a hold of them. And Daniela Rodriguez Lavorati, who also was in Galaxy, Miss Galaxy Portugal. That would be on Friday. Portugal. And this week I have Gabriella Dukes. Miss World Wales, which I'm super excited about.
I have a good feeling about her at Miss World as well. Such a good feeling about UK girls. Yeah.
Well, also on that note, just whilst I was on with Grace, I got a message from Emma Jenks, who we've been trying to pin down a time for an interview. So we'll try and do that as well at some point. So I may have Emma and Gabrielle on the same day, I believe, but we'll find out because I really want to squeeze Emma in. Anyway, also I asked you guys to remind me and you didn't, but it is Remembrance Day for you guys in the UK.
I was going to say at the end.
And do you have poppies on your top?
I do. I'm themed.
That's so cool.
And I have a poppy bag which you are balanced upon. Look. So one time a year I can bust this outfit out. I have poppy earrings too, but I forgot to put them in.
Yeah. So I think just a moment of respect for everyone, not just the war veterans, but for example here in Australia we have really, really bad fires at the moment. A few people have died, and a couple of hundred homes have been lost near where I live, and it's properly bad. It's catastrophic conditions that haven't been seen before, and we have volunteer firefighters. So really anyone who just puts their life on the line for service of any kind, you certainly have our utmost respect. I was going, last thing I want to go. As I mentioned before, when I ran a poll to say whose walk do you admire, Lauren won that poll. She was mentioned many, many times. And Miss Latimer, when I ran that poll about who's the most fashionable queen, guess who won that? Miss I have a poppy bag. You were the most tagged person in terms of being the fashionable queen. So you're most fashionable. Lauren has the best walk. So between the two of you, I feel like we're doing pretty well.
Yay!
Thanks to everyone that voted. Yay!
It's like the first thing I've ever won.
You won a hot pick. You finally won a hot pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I just need a little trophy or something to put up on here.
Oh, I'll bring one over.
They should give us a little honorary mention at the old peers then.
The old what? The peers?
Yeah, the Pageant Industry Awards.
Oh, the peer. Yeah. I'll send you guys a certificate or something, or bring you a little trophy.
Thank you. The Pageant Project's best walker.
I was thinking of just doing some arbitrary pageant awards at the end of the year, but maybe I'll still do that.
Yeah, I think you should.
Me and Danielle would take them all. We'd sweep every single award.
Oh, but I don't want to have them. I don't want to have serious awards. I want to have silly awards because I think sometimes people take awards way too seriously. So I want to have they'll be called the completely arbitrary awards because they will be completely arbitrary, and it will be things
Most
like
likely to get an upgrade on a flight, Lauren. Most likely not to get an upgrade on a flight, Danielle.
most likely to say something inappropriate at exactly the wrong time. Things like that. I would like to see.
I actually won an award at the end of my high school year, and it was Miss Loudmouth. And they gave me this huge blow up microphone. I was loving life.
I was going to say the trophy should have just been a giant set of lips and a giant mouth. Okay, let's wrap it up there. I'm going to keep you guys on for a sec. I'll let the audience go, but I know that Danielle still has that sandwich there, unless her cat has eaten it, and I want to let her eat that. Still got it?
He's fallen asleep now.
Okay, perfect.
My cold panini.
Thank you to all of you for watching. Oh, Charlotte Cassie Clemmy has just said hello. When am I getting interviewed? Charlotte, I will message you. I talked about you before, saying I wanted to interview you. So thank you for tuning in. I will message you. But thank you to Danielle and to Lauren, obviously, for their time. I know you guys are super busy. And we'll speak to you next week.
Hey guys, it's Adrian again. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to head over to pageantlaunch.com and join the launch team for our pageant review site. All you need to do is put in your email address. Thanks, and speak to you next time.